So in the first lesson, we talked about rhythm, the essentials of rhythm, how it feels in jazz. And it's great. It is essential. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. But, you know, we don't want to spend our life just walking around snapping our fingers. It may feel good. It does feel good, but we want to do more than just snap our fingers. We want to play some music. And so in this lesson, we're going to play some music and have the real fun. Unfortunately, we'll have to suffer through a little bit of some explanations on some of this stuff, and hopefully you'll only ever have to listen to this ramble once, and then you'll never have to come back and do it again, because you'll get the point, and we can move on. But you got to start somewhere, and jazz is a lifetime pursuit. It's a lifetime pursuit. But the fundamentals are always in play, always. No matter how great the player is, the fundamentals are always there. And one of the fundamentals of jazz is the 2-5-1 pattern. Now, music is made up of all kinds of patterns and cadences, and recognizable patterns, recognizable cadences. And in blues, you have the 1-4-5. All you got to do is listen to any blues tune, or most blues tunes. You're going to hear the 1-4-5. It is the defining pattern of blues. Oldies, it was a 1-6-2-5. In jazz, it's a 2-5-1. Like blues, blues is 1-4-5, jazz is 1-2-5. But typically, in blues, the 1 starts first, and the 4 builds the tune to the next level. In jazz, the 2-5 is often used as a setup, a precursor to landing on the 1. Sometimes you see 2-5s strung together, you know, as they're like modulating through a string. But in our little thing today, we're going to take just a 2-5-1, and we're going to listen to it to see what it sounds like. And then comes the fun part, because after we listen to the pattern a little bit, we'll play against it. I've got a few little notes that I like to noodle around on, and I'll noodle around on a few notes to give you an idea of some of the things, some of the basic sounds and tonality that you can establish with a 2-5 progression. You got to get this in your ear. A 2-5 is the brick and mortar of jazz. It is the defining pattern of jazz. You got to get it in your ear. So let's pop it on. Let's take a look at it. And more importantly, let's take a listen to it so that you can see how it floats, how it flows, how it sits there and defines a jazz tonal center for you to blow on. And then we'll take a few notes and we'll noodle around, and maybe in a subsequent video we'll add more than the notes we're going to do today, and we'll keep adding a few, just each time we'll hear a little more. But for now, let's take a look at the pattern. Oh, and make sure that you go down to the link below and get the 2-5-1 pattern in B flat, and so that you'll have something to play with. Okay, so let's take a look at these changes, because this is the foundation of jazz. If you go to any jazz book that you've got and you look for this combination, whatever key it might be in, this is going to represent a 2-5, and you're going to see them everywhere in jazz. Now, here, we're going to stay just within the tonality of B flat. Oftentimes, the 2-5 is used to move and to transpose into other keys and to shift into other tonal areas. But here we're just going to stay in B flat. And here we have the 2, here's the 2, here's the 5, and there's the 1. So we got 2, 5, 1. Bar of 2, bar of 5, and 2 bars of home bass. So let's listen to this. Let's just listen to it. Let's just hear how it sounds. Or is it going to sound like jazz? That's the question. It's only 3 chords here. Does it sound like jazz? Well, let's see. Sounds like jazz to me. And you can think 2, 5, 1. But it's better not to think. Just listen. 2, 5, 1. Okay, well, I don't know about you, but that sounded like jazz to me. Now, what do we do with it? Well, let's shift back to our webcam for a bit, back to our other devices. Okay, so we've got our 2 5s. We see how that sits. And we got an idea of what it sounds like. It sounds pretty cool, actually. It just grooves and grooves and grooves. And to tell you the truth, I could play all day on a run like that, 2 5 and B flat. How can you go wrong? You just keep going and going and going. Why? Because jazz is about your ability to compose in your head. It's about your ability to hear melody. It's about your ability to create harmonic interest, harmonic tension. It's about your ability to find little rhythmic motifs things that are hip, things that create little grooves within grooves and nice little feels, little motifs, they call them, I guess. I don't know. But you're only restricted by your own restrictions, your own lack of confidence, your own lack of a lexicon of ideas and melodies to draw from, motifs, rhythmic motifs to draw from. How do you develop those things? Well, for one, number one, you've got to listen. You got to listen to the tonality of what's playing, and then you've got to find stuff inside of you that pops out, or discover it on the spot, which is really the high. That's really the high that many jazz players get, is jumping into a piece that they've played 10,000 times and discovering something new. Hopefully, every time something comes up. So, what we're going to do with this exercise, first of all, hopefully have some fun with it. We have a backtrack to play to. It's just going to go round and round. And we're going to take just 3 notes, just 3. And we're going to see what we can make of those 3 notes. Now, this is not a no-brainer, dumbed-down exercise. Far from it, because with less notes, there's more requirement to think, listen, and create. And what we want to do is we want to find little melodic inventions with these 3 notes. We want to find little rhythmic inventions with these 3 notes. Now, you might think 3, only going to play 3 notes. That doesn't sound fun at all. But I can tell you, you know, most of your great traditional jazz players for decades came out of some sort of big band ensemble kind of playing. And traditionally, when you showed up with a big band that was established, if you were the new guy on the block, they'd pop you in playing second alto, or, you know, third trumpet. And your parts would often be, you know, inner voicings, and they would be 2 or 3 notes. I know, because I went through that. When I showed up in New York, I started playing in big bands right away, saxophone, and they just said, okay, all right, cool. Here's, we're in B flat, you play the G. Oh, that's it? Yeah, you'll hear it, you'll hear it. Well, hopefully in this exercise, you'll hear it.